Hey guys, today we are going to begin with the topic representation of geographical features, which is a very basic chapter in geography. So, to know this chapter, first we begin with the most important term, that is a topographical map. Now, what are these topographical maps? You must need to know this before beginning with the chapter, and I suggest you to take notes of each and everything. Topographical maps are large scale maps in which natural and cultural features are represented by using conventional symbols. Now, I would suggest you please underline each and every important keyword, which is large scale map and natural and cultural features and represented by conventional symbols. In the paper also, if you underline these terms, it will be more easy for the person who's checking it will be more easy for him or her. Now the next thing we have, what are topographical maps used for doing? So these topographical maps, these are very important for engineering purposes, public works, and commercial and residential planning, like town planning or something like that. And they are also used in the field of defense and navigation. These people, it is very important for them. These topographical maps, these are also known as ordnance survey maps. Ordnance survey maps, I repeat. These are very useful to these people who do these sort of works. Now we have relief features. We'll carry on with this topic. Please take the notes side by side if you are able to see. Please. Okay. So the relief features. Now we have a thing called contours, and the relief features are identified with the help of these contours. Contours are nothing but imaginary lines. They are not actually present, like they are only drawn on the topographical maps used to represent relief features, and they are imaginary lines which join places with the same height above sea level. I repeat, contours are imaginary lines which join places with the same height above the sea level. Please take notes side by side. Now these contours, I must tell you, they are on topographical maps, they are always made with a brown color. It is very important to make them with a brown color whenever you like draw them or do something. Whenever you see a topographical map, you'll find a contour always in brown color. Now, what do these contours tell us about? What do these contours show us? The very first point is elevation of land. Contours tell us about elevation of land, as the definition suggests. They are imaginary lines joining places with the same height above sea level, so they tell us about elevation of land. The second point is the steepness of slope. I'll further explain how they are responsible for showing us the steepness of slopes. Then the third point, we have shape of the land at various heights. I'll also show you some diagrams. I'll tell you how to draw contours, and you'll get to know about these 3 points. Till then, we keep them untouched. Next, we have a contour interval. What is a contour interval? Even this is very important. The contour interval is a space between two contours which expresses a set distance. I repeat, the space between two contours which expresses a set distance. This topic is really, really very important. I suggest you to take notes of each and everything that I am telling you. Now, the features of contours. Let us begin with that. The very first feature of a contour line is that contours are continuous curved lines. These are continuous curved lines which join places with the same height above the sea level. The very second point is that they are drawn at a constant interval, and as I told you before, this interval is known as the contour interval. Okay, so the third point, they are closer in areas of steep slopes and they are wider in areas of gentle slopes. Even this point is very important. Please highlight it when you make the notes. I repeat, contours are closer in areas of steep slope and wider in areas of gentle slopes. I'll explain it further when I show you how to make the diagrams, the contour diagrams. So further we go, and the fourth point is that their pattern, the pattern which these contours lines make, it resembles the shape of a land. As I told you before, that the contour lines show the shape of the land at various heights. So one of their feature is that their pattern resembles the shape of the land. The fifth point is, as I told you before, that contours are always made in brown color whenever there is a topographical map. Now let me show you how to make these contour diagrams. So the first one we are beginning with is a mountain, the simplest contour diagram. First of all, we are supposed to measure, like make points, divide the line into like centimeters. You can take 1 centimeter, you can take half a centimeter, but you divide the line and then you mark it according to that. Take a note, like whatever reference is given to you, 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 meters, according to that, divide the contour. It is important to make that line, the line which I have made, that arrow, and write their meters. It is very important to mention the units, whether it is kilometers or meters. Then according to that, like draw dots on those contours, okay, like referring to that 100 and whatever the measurements you have taken, draw dots. You can see the way I'm making it. Then measure that accordingly and take that one step higher, and you can make those lines. Look at how I'm making it, you'll get to know. You may not be able to understand it the way I'm speaking, but please look at the diagram the way I'm making it. So fine, now we have those reference points. Now please join those reference points with each other. As you know, these relief features, they are not very like symmetrical, so the contour lines I'll be making will look somewhat like this. Fine. So now we have, like, we are supposed to write, like, if the height is 100, then 200, then 300, likewise. So we'll mention that over there on the contours in ascending order, starting from the lower to higher height. That way. Then we begin with the plateau. Here also I have divided that reference line. I've taken 1 centimeter, you can note that. And then I've drawn those reference points on the physical feature that I'm making. Fine, so now according to that, measure and make some reference points. You see like what I'm doing? Fine, make it according to that. And the next step is join those points. Join those points together. As I told you, it's not going to be a symmetrical figure, so you can make it anyway. Any curve, anything, you can add it. No one will point out. It's obviously not a 3D diagram, so like that way. Here also we mention the height and we draw an arrow referring to that, the measuring point which we are taking, meters, kilometers, any unit we can put. Now this is a saddle. Saddle, as the name says, it is somewhat like a horse's saddle, a horse's saddle. Like, what is a saddle now? When the depression between the mountain peaks becomes low and broad, a saddle is formed. So here also we divide that reference line into 0.5 centimeters, and then we join it on our physical feature. That way you can look at the diagram, whatever I'm making, you can look at that. Take that as a referring point, and then you can make further, join those lines above. Look at how I'm making it, and then join those contour lines any way you want, any curves you can put. It is not going to be very, very accurate, but still, you'll get a rough idea. So you have it there, please join those lines. I have made these rough diagrams, otherwise whenever if it is given in the question paper that you have to draw the diagrams of contours, I request you please use a sketch pen or any other pen and mark it in brown color. Otherwise, I'm not sure, but your school may cut the marks. Okay, now we've joined these contour lines. In that way, we made contours of mountains, of plateaus, and also of saddles. I hope the topic is clear to you. And if you have any suggestions, you can write